My name is Randy Hoyt, and I've been here for 1 year. I moved down here about a year ago. My wife's from this area, and her folks were at the age that needed to come off the farm. Some of our kids had moved to this area, so it just made sense for us to come down here where she could care for her folks. And so then I had run my own business up in the north part of the state or western part of the state, and then come down here and was looking for a place to fit in, and saw the ad here, and here I am.
My name is Paul Bender. I've been with Open Gates for almost 16 years. I'm married, have 2 daughters. I live in Wellman. I worked at Robert's Dairy in Iowa City for a few years. At the time, I was driving right past Awesome Corner every day. Basically, I thought, why am I driving to Iowa City when I could be driving 5 miles to work? So I stopped in for an interview, and not hired right on the spot, but within a day or two, he called me and wanted me to start working for him.
In the easiest sense, it's just a bulk milk receiving center. In other words, we bring milk in, generally process it, and ship it out. I mean, in the simplest sense, that's what it is.
When I first come in, I make sure that everything was done the night before, make sure the temperatures on the silos are correct, make sure the paperwork is done or what needs to be done, set up the equipment for that day. So when the trucks start rolling in, you know, we've got machines we have to calibrate every morning. Just basically just get ready for the day. And then some days trucks don't get here until maybe noon, but then there's other days they're here at 8 o'clock when we walk in the door. A lot of times we'll have separation in the morning, and then we'll load tankers during the day as the milk comes in. Sometimes we have milk from the day before, the evening before, so we can separate that and get that out of the way before the fresh milk comes in. We try to separate out 3-4 times a week, mostly 4 days a week. That way we can get rid of the milk and we have fresh milk for the next day. That's one thing about this job. It's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of different things. I get bored when there's one thing on my plate. I have to have a whole bunch of things on my plate. I guess I've always been geared that way.
So KF's basically split into 2 shifts. The morning when Paul's here, it's like he said, you come in and make sure everything's set from the night before. You get milk in, you set the schedules when it's coming in, you kind of decide where it's going. The second shift comes in the middle of the day, and then both shifts work together for that period of time when it's the busiest. That's when the farm trucks are coming in, outgoing trucks are going out, milk's getting tested and all that. So everybody's really busy during that time. And then after that is done, then later the second shift does all the washes, cleans the tanks, cleans everything that needs done, and basically puts everything together so that in the morning when that crew comes in, it's all ready. Let's just say it's a farm truck that comes in off one of our local routes. So the milk's going to come in, and it will have a sheet with it that says each route that it comes in on. The milk comes in, we bring it in, we wash the truck off, we open up the back, we check the seals to make sure everything's right there. You get the milk sheet, take the farm samples out of the back of the truck, and you open up the top of the truck and you take temperature and samples. And then you bring them all up here and they get tested and make sure that there's no antibiotics and anything that's not supposed to be in the milk.
Okay, we've got 3 samples. One goes to the Federal Milk Order in Kansas City, and one goes to Dairy Lab in Dubuque. And then the other one is, the third one is the one we use to test for antibiotics. And then here we're testing for antibiotics. It's a 3-minute timer. And then the next test we do is for water. Make sure that the load, somebody didn't tamper with the load, make sure they didn't put any extra water in. What we call the cryoscope. Like that, and that's on a timer. And then next we do for a check for butter fat. Okay, and then I come over here to the lactolog, and then this records whether it's skim, 2%, whole, whatever. So down here, put the route number, Julian, along with the Julian code. That way, everything we can trace back if there's a problem.
Once the testing's done and we know the milk is good, then we go downstairs and we hook up the mechanical side, the pumps to the truck, the lines into the right silo, and then you go over to the computer unit there and you pick which silo you want it to go on, and you turn your chiller on, and then basically you unload the truck. I mean, Paul said it's teamwork, and I would say being willing to be flexible a little bit, because every day you don't know exactly how it's going to be. You don't know if you're going to get a phone call and there's going to be a load of cream coming in late. You don't know if something's going to get moved and they need more milk at FC. So it's just being flexible and working together as a team, like any place. That's really important. Probably the most challenging thing is trying to keep up with the pace that things go at sometimes. It's just, some days are just a lot of stuff going on, and you've got a number of different people here doing different things and trying to stay on top of it, making sure that the product is safe, making sure that all the procedures are done, making sure that nothing is getting lost or forgotten in that process. So it doesn't matter how fast you go, we still have to maintain certain standards. And so the most challenging part is just to make sure that you're on track with that. For me personally, it's rising to that challenge. And even though the busy days are hard, when they're over with and you've done it and everything's right, then that's a fulfilling feeling. It just feels good to have done it right and know that it's done, and to know that everything that we were asked to do, we did. And I would say that the most satisfying thing here, though, really is working with the people. You know, I think about it just a little bit. Everybody comes in here, comes from a different background, has different things that they bring, and to see them come together and start working towards the goal and the common goal of what we have here at KF, and then working together is really satisfying. You know, because you've got everybody that's got different ideas, and when they put those ideas together and we have a problem and we have something that's not been working quite right, and somebody says, well, have you tried this, have you tried that, we put those together and something works, it not only bonds the team and strengthens us as a team, but it also helps on the overall production. So, I mean, really working with the people here is the number one. I would say it's when somebody comes in and says, okay, they're doing this, and all of a sudden we say there's a load of cream coming in, and it's going to go over there to FC, and so we need someone to go over there, so they're going to jump in, and when that person goes over there, we're trying to figure out how we're going to work this, and another guy said, well, wait, no, I'll take care of this, or I'll do this, or let's work together to do this, and everybody jumps in, and all of a sudden everybody's working just a little faster, you know, and it's just, but nobody has an attitude. Everybody's just kind of jumping together, and then when it's all done, they all kind of, it's like, whew, you know, we did it. So I know that's not a specific instance, but that's the general aspect of it, just seeing everybody jump together and meet whatever it is that needs to be done.
What does it take to be successful in the Open Kids team? You have to be a team player. You have to be able to work with anybody. I mean, you have to be open-minded, because the person that started here last month may have an idea that we might want to try. Not saying we will, but you always have to be open-minded and be able to improve, get better, more efficient.
I mean, that's about as accurate as it is every day.